Good morning, sir.
Good morning. How is Delhi now?
Delhi is actually very bad. It's a thick fog.
Does the
Fog.
mask help you?
Yeah. I think you have to wear if you are outdoor.
Okay, okay.
It's quite bad actually.
Yeah. This month is pretty bad. Hello? Yeah. Okay. Are you able to hear me now? Just now I got a call from Kanpur.
I can hear you, sir. I can hear you.
Okay. At Kanpur, they said they are not able to hear me.
No, we can hear you.
Okay, thank you.
this momentous occasion. On behalf of the Mehta Family Centre for Engineering in Medicine, I welcome you all to the formal inauguration and the research symposium commemorating the same. The MFCEM is a one-stop center for enriching the field of medicine with innovative and long-term engineering solutions, with three focus areas, namely regenerative medicine, molecular medicine, and digital medicine. MFCEM would bring bright minds together to collaborate for research. To kick off the day, I would like to request Dr. Nitin Gupta, coordinator of the center, to start the session with a welcome note. Dr. Gupta.
Good morning, everyone, and a warm welcome to all of you for the inauguration of the Mehta Family Centre for Engineering in Medicine, or MFCEM as we lovingly call it. This is a wonderful occasion, a very important day for all of us who are associated with the center. The inauguration of the building, and I think this will lead to many new ideas, many new discoveries, and hopefully many new products that could reach the market as a result of what we will do in the center. I would like to welcome all of you, and on this occasion, we are very happy, and it's a joyous occasion for us. Mr. Rahul Mehta is here with us, whose vision led to the formation of the center, and also Srimati Jyoti Mehta, Shri Rahul Mehta's mother, is also here. Welcome, ma'am. I would also like to note Professor Shankar Subramaniam is here from UCSD, and his wife, Dr. Anna, is here with us. Dr. Gang Bao from Rice University has come here with us today. And we also have guests from IIT Bombay, Dr. Shamik Sen, IIT Madras, Dr. Sanjeev Senapati, and Dr. Shantanu Pradhan. Welcome, all of you. We also have many of our institute guests, Director, Professor Ganesh, many of the deans are here, and all the colleagues who are associated with the center, and all the students and staff members. A very warm welcome to all of you. And without further ado, let's just move forward to the program. We have an exciting day ahead of us. And after the inauguration, we also have a scientific session in the evening, in the afternoon, and then tomorrow, where we will cover the three domains of MFCEM. Molecular medicine today, digital medicine tomorrow morning, and then regenerative medicine tomorrow afternoon. We also have an exciting program in the evening today, a quiz bowl that will be hosted by Professor Shankar. We are very much looking forward to it. And after that, we'll have a conversation with Shri Rahul Mehta before the dinner. So let's just get started, and a warm welcome again to all of you.
Thank you, Dr. Gupta. We have among us Dr. Dhirendra Katti, Dean International Relations, who has played a pivotal role in shaping the center from ideation to formation. The center is extremely grateful for his efforts and endeavors, and I would like to request sir to give an overview of the same. Over to you, sir.
And I join Nitin Gupta, my colleague, in welcoming you all. Dr. K. Radhakrishnan, Chairman, Board of Governors, IIT Kanpur. Professor Abhay Karandikar, current Department of Science and Technology, Government of India Secretary, and previous Director of IIT Kanpur. Current Officiating Director and Deputy Director, Professor Ganesh. Shri Rahul Mehta Ji, Srimati Jyoti Mehta Ji, Professor Shankar Subramaniam, Professor Gang Bao, faculty colleagues from IIT Bombay and IIT Madras, faculty colleagues from IIT Kanpur, students, ladies and gentlemen. I truly am thrilled at this point of time to sort of give you a small overview of how this came about from concept to its final realization. I will start from when we were dabbling with this idea in the department at around 2014-15 timeframe. Some of the senior colleagues, we were talking about the department having completed 15 years and having approximately the similar number of faculty. We were thinking, how should we take the department forward? And this was when we were sort of contemplating on whether we should have a brand new center, we should have an extension of the department, and how should we go about doing things. Right around that time, 2016, we were lucky that Mr. Rahul Mehta had organized a pan IIT biotech meet, which was held at Kodaikanal. This was in 2016. This was organized by IIT Madras and supported by Rahul Mehta. And so I chanced upon a breakfast meeting with Mr. Rahul Mehta at that conference. And I was sort of mentioning this idea to him that we are looking at doing something at IIT Kanpur, and would you be interested in that something that we are looking at? And he said, well, you can make a proposal and give it to me, and I'll take a look for sure. And so that's how we started the journey. And then we came back here to IIT Kanpur, and some of us, just then I had taken over charge as the head of the department from Professor Ganesh, who was the preceding head. And so Professor Ganesh, myself, Professor Shankar Subramaniam, and some of the other colleagues, and then was Ashok Kumar. We were, sort of discussing on how things should go forward. And then we made a proposal. We prepared a proposal and submitted that to the Mehta Family Foundation. And in its first version, it was not received as is. It went through some iterations and then evolved. And at that point of time, Professor Shankar Subramaniam, who was part of the MFC advisory committee at that point, got involved and then steered the proposal to bring it to the point where we were mutually happy about setting up a center for engineering in medicine. And this was, roughly at the time of 16, 17. We then, sort of felt that, yes, this would be the proposal. And it was vetted, I think, by somebody in the US that Rahul Mehta had taken charge for. And then it was actually, it went through, and it was sort of agreed upon that this is going to be the final version of the proposal. After that was done, Mr. Mehta had requested that we should visit them and they should visit us. And so we said that he happened to be in the country, and then Professor Ganesh, myself, and the then Dean of Resources, Professor B.V. Funny, we went to Delhi and set up a meeting in the Lemon Tree Hotel right outside the airport. And in that meeting, Professor Manna, who was the then director, was also there. And so we had this very nice, fruitful meeting. But Professor Manna's term was just about ending at that point of time. And therefore, Mr. Mehta said that we can just wait a little bit more time. This is a fantastic idea. Let's just wait till the new leadership takes charge. And then a few months later, Professor Karandikar took over as the director in April of 2018. And it's actually very important to mention, on, I think, April 18th, 2018, Professor Karandikar took over. And on 5th of May, 2018, within 3 weeks, we were at Houston visiting Mr. Rahul Mehta. That just goes to show how quick and energetic and dynamic Professor Karandikar was in making sure that an important idea is taken forward quickly. And we met with Mr. Rahul Mehta and his family. He hosted us, and we as a team had gone there as an IITK delegation. And it was a very fruitful meeting. This was followed up with Mr. Rahul Mehta visiting us here at IIT Kanpur the very same year, later in the year. I think it was around November. And it was after that meeting here at IIT Kanpur that Mr. Rahul Mehta said that he was in favor, he would support this. And then we started to get ready for the building and things like that. Around that time, we have to, get the internal machinery started. And then Deputy Director Manindra Agarwal, Professor Manindra Agarwal, and Professor Ganesh was the Dean of R&D, and myself as the chair of the department, we sort of set the ball rolling. We identified an architect, and Mr. Rajiv Garg, who is there in the audience here, facilitated the identification of a very good architect, and that was done at high speed because we were interested in getting this project through soon. And so we got the architect identified, Jain and Associates, and then we got the plan done. They visited us a couple of times, and then after that we had the plan in place. After the plan was in place, we ran the plan by the Mehta Family Foundation, and then the plan was finalized. After that was the job of, the process of tendering, and many of you may not be familiar. Some of you, of course, are familiar. Identifying somebody for contract for such a large, tender. We floated the tender, and then we had to tweak it, and then Professor Omkar Dixit, who was the then Dean of Infrastructure and Planning, was very gracious, and he said that, okay, even though it's a very major project, we will withdraw the previous tender. We rectified, corrected it to fit the requirements. There were many things which were not perfectly in order, and then we did that, and then the tender was refloated for the entire building, and it was, eventually awarded to the current Messrs. RSB projects. And this was around the time, late 2019. And within a couple of months, just when we were ready to start, the pandemic set in. This is March 2020, we closed down. We had a lockdown all over the nation. And we opened again only in September, October. But I must really put this important point across, that in spite of the fact that the entire country was in lockdown, Professor Karandikar, Professor Ganesh, the IWD section and the contractor, they all agreed that we can do whatever little bit we can do to let the project going. And therefore, we, as soon as we had the ability to do some constructions, we let that construction proceed. And it started around that time, and we originally had a 24-month period given to ourselves, to the contractor to get it done, and just got a little over that. And now we are in 23, close to 36 months. We're sitting in the building, fully complete in all its totality. And the design and the materials and things like that, I should also mention, upon the request of Mr. Mehta, I think a large number of exceptions have been made for the building to be of a very high quality. So it is, IWD section has been very cooperative, and we've been able to bring real high quality construction material and bring stuff here, which is, normally not the case for standard government constructions. And I must thank everybody who was involved, including the director, deputy director, and IWD, for making that happen and letting that go through. So that is basically the background and how it all happened and came about. That sort of came to this point where we're now inaugurating the building. So that's the end of phase one, so to say. And now we start phase two, which is the most important part, which is, doing what we're here for, what we exist here for, the research and the academics. So just a quick little bit on that. So this, as it was conceptualized with help from Professor Shankar Subramaniam, it was precisely engineering and medicine. We knew that as a school of engineering, we have a strength in engineering. We had a department of biological science and bioengineering, and we knew that we had some strength in biology. So it was very appropriate for us to sort of think in that direction, to set up a center for engineering in medicine. And to add to it, we also had recognized as an institute that the frontier aspects of medicine and treatment in medicine would probably, be at that interface of engineering and medicine. And therefore, we were actually appropriately positioned, so as to say, compared to other organizations in the country to sort of set this ball rolling. And so we decided to do that. And as was mentioned, we picked on 3 areas where we knew that we had some strength and we can build on those strengths. And that's how these 3 areas of regenerative medicine, digital medicine, and molecular medicine came about, because this is existing strength either in the Department of Biological Sciences or within the bigger institute in engineering as well as in sciences departments. So that's how we identify these 3 main areas, and these are the areas that we're going to take forward. And of course, we expect that these areas will even expand much more into other areas or allied areas. Now, all these areas are, of course, very frontier, and some of you who are familiar with these areas, you already know that it's really frontier areas, and therefore we expect that we would make a dent, not just in the country, but probably in the world. And that's a tall order to meet. And therefore, I just wanted to set out the big agenda, the big goal that we have set for ourselves, a big challenge, and we would like to get there sooner than later. Now, just to tell you quickly, like any other academic unit of IIT Kanpur, this center too has only 2 main objectives. One is academic programs and the other one is research. So those will be the 2 cornerstones of this center, and we will be introducing the Department of Biological Sciences and Bioengineering has already set the ball rolling for introduction of new master's programs. And then we will soon have already the research is ongoing. Affiliations are many to the center right now, including departments other than BSB department. So those are the 2 cornerstones, academics and research. I'd like to quote Winston Churchill here. This I quote: "We make a living by what we get, but we make a life by what we give." So, Mr. Mehta, through your generosity and support, you have not only helped set up the Mehta Family Centre for Engineering and Medicine at IIT Kanpur, but more importantly, your support will go on to help shape the careers of next generation students, researchers, and scientists who will pass through this building as they build their own respective careers. To close, or in closing, on behalf of IIT Kanpur, which includes a large number of people, but I'll quickly take a few names. On behalf of previous director, Professor Abhay Karandikar, the current officiating director and deputy director Ganesh, previous and current deans of resources and alumni, Professors Fani, Jayant Singh, and Kantesh Balani, previous and current heads, Professors Ganesh, Shankar, Amitabh, and myself, all the faculty members of BSB department, the IWD section, previous superintending engineers of IWD section, particularly Mr. Rajiv Garg and Mr. Tarun Gautam. I wish to place on record our sincere gratitude and heartfelt thanks to the Mehta Family Foundation, and in particular to Mr. Rahul Mehta. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.
Thank you, Dr. Khatri, for taking us through the journey of MFCEM. We're honored to have among us Dr. K. Radhakrishnan, Chairman, Board of Governors, IIT Kanpur, who has joined us virtually today. Let us hear his thoughts on this new development at the Institute.
Good morning to all of you present at Kanpur and Delhi. I am extremely privileged and delighted to be part of this inaugural function. I recall it started in 2019 along with the Foundation Day, and we also had an interaction in the first week of January at Kanpur. And let me recall my meeting the admirable Rahul Mehta, who has now come with his gracious mother to witness this great occasion, and our own beloved former director, Professor Abhay Karandikar, who is now Secretary of the Department of Science and Technology of Government of India, and two international partners, eminent researchers or pioneers in bioengineering, Dr. Shankar Subramaniam, and on nanomedicine, Dr. Gang Bao, and all the young, vibrant faculty members of the BSBE department of IIT Kanpur. All those who facilitated them to have this day possible, and their collaborators and colleagues and peers from IIT Madras and IIT Bombay. It has been a great journey, and I'm sure this synergy that you have established as of now is going to make a major difference in the country. I'm an admirer of this BSBE department of IIT Kanpur. It has given an officiating director who is with you, a dean of research and international development, and you have several young researchers who have international accolades. And that is the resource pool on which you are going to build a future of research in this center. And you can be assured that the future is going to be great. And aside, we have the major initiative of the recent days, the Research School on Medical Research and Technology, which is also going to come up. And these are going to be turning points in the history of this premier institute. And I'm sure with the synergy that you have already established in the coming years, there will be impactful research and also generation of a new generation of researchers in this cutting edge area. I wish you all the best, and I also thank everyone who contributed over the last few years to see this day. And a special thanks to Professor Abhay Karandikar for the leadership that he has taken to see through this major project, even during the difficult days of COVID pandemic. Thank you very much. And once again, I thank Shri Rahul Mehta for his continued confidence on this institute for doing research in this cutting edge area. Thank you very much. Wish you all the best.
Thank you, sir, for giving us your valuable time and always being a source of support. Blessing us virtually as the chief guest today is Dr. Abhay Karandikar, Shri, Department of Science and Technology, Government of India, and former Director of IIT Kanpur. It is under his visionary leadership that MFCEM took shape. I request Dr. Karandikar to kindly address the gathering.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Respected Dr. K. Radhakrishnan, Chairperson, Board of Governors, Shri Rahul Mehta ji, and Srimati Jyoti Mehta ji, Professor Shankar Subramaniam, Professor Gang Bao from Rice University, Professor Ganesh, Director of IIT Kanpur, all the deans of IIT Kanpur, the head of the BSB department, Professor Amitabha Bandyopadhyay, Professor Nitin Gupta, MFCEM coordinator, all the distinguished colleagues of BSB whom I can see in this new auditorium, colleagues from IIT Bombay and IIT Madras. A very warm welcome to all of you. At the outset, let me apologize first, to Rahul Mehta and his family. I would have very much liked to be present on this momentous occasion in person. But unfortunately, due to some emergent and urgent meetings, that I have to attend, I'm not able to be there with you. As Professor Katti mentioned, it all started meeting Rahul Mehta in May 2018 when I had just taken over as the director of IIT Kanpur. And the warmth and affection that he showed in his house in Houston, that was really the starting point where we developed personal relationships and bond that I believe will go beyond just setting up this center in IIT Kanpur. His generosity and graciousness, as all of you know, has not only helped IIT Kanpur, but is helping other institutions as well, like IIT Madras, his recent initiatives in IIT Guwahati and IIT Roorkee. And I'm indeed grateful to his foresight and vision of helping institutions like IIT, which have a tremendous potential and which have been doing, extremely well nationally, with his vision to take this to an international or a global scale. And that is the vision with which the Mehta Family Centre for Engineering in Medicine has been set up. As Professor Katti also outlined, the Department of Biological Sciences and Bioengineering in IIT Kanpur is, I would say, that is not only one of the best departments in the institute, but has also proved to be a leading biosciences and bioengineering center and academic unit in the country, with outstanding faculty members, both senior and young, who have been doing not only a world-class research, but also have been like great mentors for the students. And the research and innovation ecosystem that has been set up recently in IIT Kanpur, whether it is in the form of experimental animal house facility or whether it is in the form of bio incubator, this center, the Center for Engineering in Medicine, will really set the stage for taking the research and development activities of IIT Kanpur to a global scale. And I hope in the coming years, we will be able to create a lasting legacy. It has taken, ideally, we would have liked this center to have come up, in 3 years' time, maybe during my time when I was still the director there. But as Professor Katti mentioned, that it got delayed due to the COVID pandemic. But I'm delighted that finally the center has come up with very modern facilities that are going to be established in all the labs. As we had discussed earlier with Rahul Mehta and also with Shankar Subramaniam, we would like this center to be an interdisciplinary center where faculty members from different departments, not only from biological sciences and bioengineering, but also from departments such as chemistry, chemical engineering, mechanical engineering, can also collaborate on addressing the three important areas which are part of this center, that is regenerative medicine, molecular medicine, and digital medicine. As all of you know, that the technology is playing now a great role in transforming the medicine and healthcare. And given the fact that IIT Kanpur has very strong departments, not only in basic sciences, but also in applied science, engineering, and technology, this center has a potential to provide a platform where we can make transformative discoveries by having applications of engineering in medicine and healthcare. This center coordinator, I think Nitin Gupta has taken several initiatives when I was the director in the last few months. And I hope with his dynamic and young leadership, he will be able to attract more young faculty members who have joined recently in IIT Kanpur. I just want to tell Rahul Mehta that 40% of the current faculty in IIT Kanpur are the faculty members who have joined during last 5 years. And therefore, we have a strong young blood who can really contribute and take the activities of the center to the next level. Indeed, the Department of Biological Sciences and Bioengineering has also hired some very top quality faculty members in the recent years. And this center's facilities will actually provide a lot of help to these young colleagues who have been looking for independent lab spaces and offices. And I'm sure this extra space that we have created will really be helpful to them. Finally, once again, I would like to thank Shankar Subramaniam, who has been giving voluntarily a lot of his time and energy in working with the faculty colleagues of IIT Kanpur. He's also very passionate, he's our distinguished alumnus, and I hope his guidance and mentorship will continue in the coming years. I would also like to thank all the colleagues, all the deans, particularly the current Dean of Infrastructure and Planning, Professor Samitra Chaudhary, and also the current Director, Professor Ganesh. Let me just tell you, this audience, that their eye of details have really helped in addressing some small issues which needed to be addressed towards, the last 6 to 8 months of giving a final touches to this building. So thank you very much, all of you. Thank you for making me a part of this journey, which is going to create a legacy. And I indeed feel privileged and fortunate that this entire concept could be realized almost during my tenure. Once again, I'm grateful to Rahul Mehta for having this vision of helping the scientific and academic community of India in general. And IIT Kanpur, of course, in particular. I would like to assure him that the entire scientific community and the academic community of not only IIT Kanpur, but other IITs like IIT Madras, IIT Guwahati and IIT Roorkee, and as I know from the IIT system, and now in the form of Department of Science and Technology, as a general scientific community, we will live up to the expectations of such philanthropists and donors who have purely out of selfless respect have reposed confidence in the Indian science community to take it to a global scale. So thank you very much once again, and I apologize that I have not been being present there in person. I hope I will be able to meet both Rahul Mehta and his mother very soon. I unfortunately couldn't meet him in August also when I had visited his house to invite his family, but I did meet his brother and sisters. And I hope I will be able to meet all of them either in India or in the US very soon. So once again, thank you very much and all the best for IIT Kanpur and Mehta Family Centre for Engineering in Medicine for a very bright future for making a national and international impact. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your valuable words and for being a leader to IIT Kanpur. Moving on, I would like to reiterate the significance of this center. The center, envisioned by accomplished stalwarts in their respective fields and backed by the Mehta Family Foundation, brings IIT Kanpur's engineering acumen closer to biomedical research to find solutions for a better future in the field of medicine. It is expected to bring paradigm shifts in the way healthcare or biomedical solutions are envisaged in the country. We will now play a brief video presentation of the center. Engineering and healthcare have come together to pave the way for innovation in the field of medicine and engineering. In 2019, IIT Kanpur, with the generous support of Mr. Rahul Mehta of the Bhupat and Jyoti Mehta Family Foundation, becoming the first institute in India to integrate the two frontier fields of innovation, leading to the setting up of the Mehta Family Centre for Engineering in Medicine. The centre is at the forefront of 21st century innovations, where their work not only advances knowledge, but also directly impacts people's lives by diagnosing, treating and preventing diseases. With its focus on regenerative medicine, molecular medicine and engineering, and digital medicine, it brings together researchers from both biomedical and engineering backgrounds to provide solutions on cutting-edge problems in healthcare.
The areas that have been identified for the center, they're primarily two areas. And so one area is called regenerative medicine, the other area is called molecular medicine, and the third area is called digital medicine. Each one of these areas are frontier areas of the interface of engineering and medicine. So that's a way forward. Emphasizing these areas will not just be important, but it's also very, should I say, contemporary and very forward-looking in that sense. And therefore, we need technologies, development of technologies that are in the forefront of medicine.
The Mehta Family Centre for Engineering and Medicine has made IIT Kanpur the premier institute for research and development in healthcare, aimed at enhancing the quality of life for hundreds of millions of people across India and the globe.
This center, IIT Kanpur, think in a manner that suits the mandate of the center, which by itself is quite unique in the country. I do not think any other center for engineering in medicine exists. So by definition, the mandate of the center will be higher engineers who will be working on healthcare. So we'll understand the language of biology or healthcare.
The MFCEM was brought into existence under the leadership of the former IITK Director, Professor Abhay Karandikar, the Stewardship Professor Nitin Gupta, along with able guidance from a dedicated team of international advisors headed by Professor Shankar Subramaniam of University of California, San Diego. MFCEM aims to bring about a paradigm shift in solving medical problems using path-breaking engineering solutions. It hopes to foster a collaborative, transdisciplinary spirit to come up with innovative and impactful outcomes that improves the overall quality of living and healthcare solutions.
Working towards these goals would not have been possible had it not been for the generous support of Mr. Rahul Mehta, who shown great interest and passion to develop the center. His donations have made it possible for us to aspire to build a world-class infrastructure at the MFCEM. His efforts are also brought together with leaders in fields of medical sciences as advisors to the center. Look forward to Mr. Rahul Mehta's continued support and his ever-encouraging participation in helping its center achieve its ambitious goals.
A huge round of applause for Mr. Mehta once more. Let us move on to the next segment. We have among us Dr. Shankar Subramaniam from the University of California, San Diego. I request her to please join us on the stage. And I request Dr. Dhirendra Katti to present Dr. Subramaniam with a token of appreciation. An accomplished An accomplished academician, Dr. Subramaniam has been a long-time advisor to the MFCEM and is someone who has helped immensely in bringing the center to its current phase. Dr. Subramaniam's association has been very rewarding and the center shall remain indebted to him. I request sir to kindly share his thoughts with us.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for such kind words and distinguished guests. I first want to say that it's been a pleasure and a privilege to be associated with MFCEM and with IIT Kanpur as always, because I've been involved in IIT Kanpur forever. I'll just take a few minutes to tell you first about my association with Mr. Rahul Mehta. I mean, I came across Rahul Mehta through a colleague of mine in UCSD and Salk Institute. He introduced me to Rahul and said that Rahul is really a wonderful guy. You should really talk to him. So I ended up talking to Rahul and I was transformed. His vision for what he wanted to do. I've met many, many philanthropists, but Rahul was totally unique. He was just not interested in giving money to something and having his name associated. He wanted to genuinely transform the place himself through association with others. I mean, I've rarely seen a spirit of that kind in people. And his ability to really give without, wanting only excellence and nothing else out of his donation is unique in this world. So I'm really, really privileged to have known Rahul. I consider him a dear friend, and it's really, awesome to have this journey along with you. Now I want to say a few words about IIT Kanpur. I've been involved in IIT Kanpur since the mid-70s or late 70s. I was a student here. And at the time I was a student here, there were only 5 hostels for men, for boys, 1 for girls, which was almost always completely empty. And so there was really, it was a time when there were only about, 800 students or something like that. Overall. And the competition to get into IIT Kanpur was so fierce. And it was really insanely fierce. IIT Kanpur was considered to be way above, and sorry, IIT Madras and IIT Bombay colleagues, considered to be in a league of its own. I'm told it's no longer the case, but nevertheless, it used to be a league on its own. It was started with the United States PL480 fund. Some of you may know this from a long time ago. And it was built really in the mode of MIT and Caltech. That was the intent of bringing engineering into focus at various levels. The word biology could not be spelled by almost any faculty member in IIT Kanpur at that time. They had no notion. I myself did not make the distinction between a biological object and an astronaut. To me, they were all the same. So this really was a different time altogether. But I got to tell you, this world is transformed. Around that time, IIT Kanpur was thinking about this interdisciplinary or multidisciplinary approach towards engineering and medicine. The National Academy of Engineering constituted a committee for looking at what are the 20 grand challenges in engineering coming for the next 2 decades. And they came up with 20 different grand challenges. 16 of them were engineering and medicine applications. 16 of the 20 challenges. So in fact, you can think about the complete chagrin of engineers from mechanical engineers and civil engineers and so on and so forth. But it was really a transformational time. We then constituted as a part of a meeting of 50 different chairs at UC San Diego towards thinking about the next grand challenges at the interface between engineering and medicine. In fact, last week we had an article published of that 5-year-ago meeting, which talked about all these amazing 5 grand challenges which will really transform the world. IIT Kanpur has been one of the first institutions to embrace this paradigm and has really done a lot of amazing work in this area. I'll start by telling you, you can ask the question, molecular medicine, what does it mean? What does that have to do with engineering? So if you really think about it, the people who have been thinking about this for a long time know that traditional medicine involves molecules in the form of drugs. But drugs don't act in isolation. They are really intricately involved in whole human physiology. This is a systems engineering concept. So the whole systems engineering concept has really transformed the multi-scale approach towards thinking about it. And think about just the mRNA vaccines. Without engineering, there was no mRNA vaccine. Think about the number of horses we had to sacrifice in order to get vaccines in old times, or cows. But you don't need to do that anymore. And you can produce vaccines on demand, just like that. So this is really the way molecular medicine is evolving, and IIT Kanpur is at the forefront of some of these areas of growth. Let's talk about regenerative medicine. Till about 30 years ago or 30 years ago, regenerative medicine was always thought in terms of replacing heart. Replacing, that is considered to be the biggest accomplishment of regenerative medicine. Came 21st century, and stem cells became really the transformational agents. Stem cell biology was transformed by Yamanaka, who just said 3 factors are enough to transform your skin cell or your blood cell into a stem cell, which is pluripotent. However, the challenge of transforming a few cells into a tissue was never realized. Why was it never realized? It's because it's the engineering component that is missing. Cells are not isolated entities. They are reconstructed back. Your mechanics, your fluidics, your transport phenomena, your all these complex engineering design issues in human physiology, which really is at the forefront of how you want to transform just changing stem cells into new tissues, either for replacement or for various types of other approaches. Guess what? One aspect of that is, again, a new revolution in terms of bringing genome editing, where you can take an embryo or a stem cell, embryonic stem cell, and edit genome. And we are going to hear Jayendran talk about this. And this is really bringing truly an engineering perspective towards cell engineering and tissue engineering. And again, IIT Kanpur has taken the forefront. Dr. Gang Bao, who is a pioneer in this area, is going to tell us more about it today, in fact, this morning, in an hour from now, or a couple of hours from now. That came the next revolution. Genomics, the way genomics has evolved, has completely transformed the way we think about biology. 1992, Wally Gilbert, who's a Nobel laureate, wrote a paper in Science. He said, in the future, 10 years from now, biology is going to be completely become a data science. He was prescient. At that time, nobody knew what data science was and what is happening. So he said, no, it's going to be data science 20 years from now. And so Wally was so correct that the genomics ability to sequence, the transformation in genome sequencing, digital sequencing, billions and billions of bits of data have really changed the way we think about biology. Biology is no longer, think about sensors people wear. Every second we are accumulating data. Can we process this data towards actionable items for human beings? This is really, enormously interesting and important for the future of lifestyle, of all our lifestyles. And so this is where I think engineering plays a humongous role. And with modern AI and ML, and I know Abhay is listening to me, Abhay, I need to tell you that the thing you're doing with the country as a whole in terms of bringing a new AI ML institute is really going to help India in an enormously important way. And so this is really going to change how we think about converting data into knowledge. It requires an engineering modeling approach. It's not just data, it is not just knowledge. You want to build models of data towards understanding human physiology and lifestyle. So I think IIT Kanpur is on a fantastic journey. You guys have captured the essence of the 3 major initiatives that are going to transform humankind. And I want to tell the students who are here, you are the future. Some of us are old and we are not going to be there long enough to figure out what is going to transpire, but you are going to be really the bridge to the future of where our lifestyle is going to be changed forever. So with those words, I'm sorry for taking long, but I wanted to tell you my perspective on why I think this is fundamentally important and how Rahul's help has really, paved the way for IIT Kanpur to take an international leadership role in this area. And I want to, before I sign out, I want to say that I want to thank all my colleagues in IIT Kanpur who have been instrumental in helping this, starting with Dhirendra. I first met Dhirendra, I said, this is the guy who's going to really help Kanpur make a difference. Then Amitabh, then Shankar took over. I know Shankar for a long, long time, decades. And then Amitabh and Nitin, of course, Nitin I know also from from UC San Diego. He's a proud product of UC San Diego. So really thank you for helping with all this, really pushing the envelope, thing forward. Otherwise, it would not have happened. So thank you again. And I'm really privileged and it's an honor to be here. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your valuable words. We also have among us Dr. Gang Bao from the Rice University. I request her to please join us on stage, and I request Dr. Biren Chakati to present Dr. Bao with a token of appreciation. IIT Kanpur and Rice University have been running the Rice IIT Collaborative Centre at IIT Kanpur to foster research in developing long-term energy solutions. The centre also offers summer internships and hosts seminars and symposiums, among others. The summer internships have particularly been very beneficial for students of both institutions. From this year onwards, the Rice IITK Strategic Collaboration Awards have also been constituted to facilitate and support joint initiatives in multidisciplinary cutting-edge research to create academic and societal impact. Dr. Bao has been an integral part of this collaboration. So, I request Dr. Bao to share his vision with us.
Thank you so much. It's a true privilege to be here. It's an honor to be here. Thank you so much. First, I would like to just congratulate everyone and to have this wonderful building, to have this wonderful center, all because of the generous support by Rahul Mehta. Thank you so much. So I would like to just show a few slides. Again, congratulations. So as you may know, Rice University is a very small private university in Houston. Just in case you don't know, we have a very beautiful campus. It's not very old. It's a little bit more than 100 years old. We only have 700 faculty members with 4,000 undergraduate students and 3,000 graduate students. The Rice University has been ranked in top 20 for many, many years. So a few years ago, Rice University's IITK established a joint center on research. So this center initially focused on 5 areas: solar energy, energy storage, materials modeling, catalysis, and also water treatment. I'm very happy to know that now we expand this collaboration into biomedical engineering. So with the general support by the Mehta Foundation, we have established a Mehta Rice Engineering Scholars Program. So this program provides opportunities to students in India to visit us so that they could have opportunities to do cutting-edge research, to work with us using our state-of-the-art facilities, to have mentorship with our faculty members, also to have the opportunity to network with other scholars in the program. So again, we are very happy to select 9 wonderful students to be the initial group of Mehta Rice Engineering Scholars. So also earlier this year, we established a engineering speakers series under the support of the Mehta family. So this seminar series aims to have opportunities for our faculty to tell students, scholars in India, the cutting edge research at Rice. So earlier this year, we had 2 speakers. One focused on the advanced materials, the other focus on language models. And of course, this will continue for many, many years. So talking about engineering in medicine, this is a wonderful area. I can tell you that in the US, many years ago, we had a lot of debate about what is the role of engineering in medicine. As a result, quite a few places have established medical schools with strong focus in engineering, like the one at UIUC,
We have one at UT Austin. More recently, there's an engineering medicine medical school at Texas A&M. So you can see that it's a trend to have a lot of medical schools focus on engineering medicine. So if you look at what we do and the center here, you can see a lot of similarity. Our department has 4 focus areas: biomaterials, tissue engineering, and mechanobiology. That's one area. We have cellular, molecular, and genome engineering, synthetic biology. We have computational, theoretical bioengineering, and biophysics. We also have biomedical imaging and instrumentation. The center here, of course, Shankar just gave a beautiful overview of the areas: regenerative medicine, molecular medicine, engineering, and the digital medicine. You can see the synergy between the two. So in my view, there are many, many different application areas we can work on. Those are the areas at my department. You can see quite a few areas we focus on, including nanomedicine, genome engineering, of course, tissue engineering, cell-based therapies. So in my view, there are at least 4 major areas we could work together. The first is tissue engineering, regenerative medicine, which is the focus area here. The nanomedicine-based approaches for disease treatment and disease detection, that's another area. So the third area is the diagnosis and treatment of genetic diseases, including sickle cell disease. In fact, even just last year, I didn't know a lot of sickle cell disease patients in India. Now, of course, this is a perfect time for us to address the treatment methods and the challenges, which I will talk about this afternoon. The last area is infectious disease. Of course, COVID is an example, right? And we need to engineer vaccines so that when the next COVID came, we'll be ready, right? If there is such a disease. So with that, thank you so much. Again, thank you for the opportunity to come here to congratulate you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your insightful address. We now take a moment to honor Shri Rahul Mehta from the Mehta Family Foundation, under whose aegis this center has sprung up from its infancy to the current form, with an illustrious advisory board comprising of acclaimed mentors. The vision that Shri Mehta had for establishing the center has inspired us to realize this shared dream. Let us please invite Shri Mehta to come up on stage. And may I please invite Dr. S. Ganesh to felicitate him with a token of appreciation.
Whoever did that. Sure.
A few words, sir.
Okay. So, first of all, good morning to all of you. I guess it's probably time to go to sleep. So, hopefully I'll make it quick and short so that you guys don't go to sleep. Where can I start? First of all, thank you, all of you, for coming here. It's a great privilege and honor to be with all of you. Obviously, it's a dream that started out, like Dhirendra was saying, started out in 2016 at the IIT Kanpur side. It obviously required a lot of people's help in order to fulfill this dream. And I know that a lot of you, everybody wants to give me credit, but the reality is that I'm not the one who should get the credit. I didn't do anything. I mean, I think you can see that the amount of hard work that has gone into it is beyond imagination. I think it's hard to underestimate, what it takes, the energy wise, to build a place like this. It really takes a lot of time, dedication, effort on a lot of people's part. Otherwise, this is not possible. First, let me, start out by saying, the real credit, right? I mean, so first of all, building is one thing, right? Space is just a concept, right, that you need. And let me give you the importance of a space and importance of a building. When I left this country, went to the US, and I walked into University of Houston on the first day, I walked into a space that has transformed me permanently. Even today, right, I think when you walk into a space that gives you inspiration, and to me, a space gives me inspiration. It gives me ability to think. A lot of my, when I'm building a company, the right environment, right, the right space is what gives you the creative juices. It is what makes you think differently. And I hope that ultimately this space is what gives you the creative juices to to create collaboration, to do brainstorming, to do and think differently, that will enable you to achieve new heights as a result of this new thinking. So building is nothing without the people, and so ultimately all of you are what is the most important part. And I hope, my dream is that all of you get this inspiration, that this is a special place, and as a result you will do some more innovation, more collaboration, more brainstorming to create something new. First, let me give you an idea of the kind of the energy that went behind the scenes. I mean, everybody wants to give me credit, but the real credit goes to Shankar, right? I always say that in the Indian culture, gurus are, the soul, the real people that make a difference to us. I am blessed to have gurus like Shankar along with me in my journey. I really don't have the domain knowledge that he has. Without him, and him putting in all the energy from the beginning in 2019 during the pandemic, he used to spend every month a couple of hours first with Shankar and then with Nitin. And that kind of dedication it took to create this space for all of you. So, that's the reason why I really feel uncomfortable when people start focusing on me, because I'm not the person. The real person who is there is a person sitting over there, right? He is a guy. So please give him all the credit. Okay. And, again, today, because I think it's a very special moment for him, I wanted him to have his wife along with him. And I'm so glad that Anna was able to come along with him. Okay. As I have gotten to know them over the last, many years. I've been to their home in San Diego. They've come to my home in Houston. And, Anna is a very special person. I mean, I cannot tell you, you should see, I hope that all of you get to learn from her wisdom. She's an MD. She is a doctor for everybody. If you ever need any help, if you want to know what medicines to take or whether you're taking the right combination of medicine, spend time with Anna. She will walk you through this thing. And I was so lucky to see that whole interaction. I went to the home one day and there were a couple of people who obviously are not her official patients, but they spent the time and energy with her, and she spent the time and energy with them, going through every medicine they took, what was the effect of each everything, and what are the right steps to take. So again, I hope all of you take the time to spend listen to Anna and get all the energy. So along with Shankar, so you can see how powerful a couple they are. Shankar does the basic science research, she does the medical research. You have a very powerful couple here who can tell you lots of different things. Okay. But again, thank you, Anna, for coming. Making this great, making this particular day joyous for all of us, right? Both for Shankar and myself. And I really appreciate you taking the time to come over here. Okay. Next, I want to thank my mom. I mean, clearly, she's 85 years old. I probably wouldn't be here without her. But she has played an immense role for us in our life. It's hard to express. Again, I'm sure everybody loves their mother, and but she has done a very special role for us in our life, and I'm glad she's here with us so that she can celebrate some of the things that we are doing. And then I want to take the time to thank my friends who are here with me, Shri, Sarah, and Maureen. Just to kind of give you an idea, Sarah was actually with me. She was my number 2 employee in my first company back in 1987. We have built 4 companies together. We did a lot of things together. So you can see that she has put up with me for all these years. Okay. And, for the first time, I've been trying to tell her to come to India since the beginning, since 1990. And this is her first visit to India. She has never been to India. So I am hoping that she has a great experience coming in and seeing India for the first time. So anyway, that's Sarah. Then again, another friend, Shri. Shri and I have known each other for 20 years. We met on a board of one of the non-profits. A very delightful person. Last year we traveled to Chile together, and you will see that she is one of those people who goes on a vacation and reads 20 books over a period of 5 days. Again, incredible reader, incredible depth of knowledge. So I'm happy that she can finally come and see all the work we've been doing over here. So thank you, Shri, for coming over here. Okay. Lastly, Maureen. Maureen and I have, again, great friend, known each other for many, many years. She has seen more of India than I have. Probably more of India than probably any one of us probably in this room. Okay. She has traveled in India incredibly. She has a deep love for India, deep love for Indian food, Indian culture. Last week we were in Gujarat, and she was doing all the Ras Garba and everything on the stage. I mean, a deep love for India and the Indian culture. And thank you, Maureen, for coming with me. And I again want to thank Gang Bao for taking the time to come here. He has been an incredible. When I went to Rice and I told the people at Rice about what we were trying to do, Gang Bao came to me and he says he wants to go to India. He has never been to India, and he will. And I said, done. I said, I would love to take you whenever we get the first opportunity. This was the first opportunity we got, and immediately said yes. So thank you, Gang, for coming over here and helping spread your wisdom with everybody. I also want to take the time to thank Dhirendra. I mean, clearly the architect of this whole initiative. Without Dhirendra, this would not have been possible. Dhirendra has played a major role behind the scene and, of course, in front of everybody also. But really, Dhirendra has a lot of passion. I think one of the few people I've met who actually has a passion, who really cares about IIT Kanpur, who really cares about BSBE. We are all very grateful that he is over here. Thank you, Dhirendra, for all the for all the things that you do for the department. And then, again, I'm just kind of going through the order in which people came into my life, right? So then obviously we had Dr. Abhay Karandikar. When he came to Houston, we all got along very well. And had it not been for Abhay, this probably place would not again exist. So I know Abhay is not there, and he's probably will find different ways to express our gratitude to him. But Abhay has played a very big role in making sure that this place becomes a reality. Then I also want to take the time to thank Nitin. Nitin has, again, the last 2 years spent enormous amount of time working on this particular making this vision a reality. I know that no IIT professor likes to take time away from their research because this is like boring stuff to them, right? I mean, how many of you think that any of the professors like to do what, this, or whether they like to teach you students? I can tell you, Nitin obviously loves his research, loves his students, but for him to take time away to do all that, you have to give him credit. I mean, that he was given that plate and he decided to do it very well. Unbelievable. Thank you, Nitin, for everything you've done. Okay. Obviously, before Nitin, we used to talk to Shankar. Where's Shankar? I don't see him. Shankar also. Oh, there. Okay, there you are. Okay. Before Nitin, it was Shankar, and and Shankar did a lot of work. So we used to talk to him during the pandemic. So these are the people. This, believe it or not, during the pandemic, I mean, the amount of calls we used to have to make this place, working. We would send a message on, within 24 hours, we would get on a Zoom session, and we'll have a 2 to 3 hour Zoom session. So this is how much work has gone behind the scenes. Some of the other people that actually played a very big role, obviously the architect. I give great credit to the architect. Without them, obviously this building again would not have been possible. All the people in infrastructure, Sumit, Ankar, everybody who really played an important role in making sure the quality of this place exists. One of the things that is important in building a place like this is the quality. I really, the way I look at the buildings, the way I think of spaces, there are two most important things in a space. One is the entrance, and the second one is the restrooms. Okay. If you really want to analyze a building, focus on those two things, right? Why do we like to go to a 5-star hotel? Well, there are two reasons 5-star hotels are called 5 stars, is because watch the lobby. What is your feeling? What is the emotions that you get, that comes in your mind, right? When you walk into a 5-star, hotel, and then go to their restrooms and see how well they are maintained. Okay. That is the quality of a 5-star hotel, and the energy it takes to get those two things right changes the face of that building forever. Okay. And people in infrastructure, we don't give them credit enough, but if they can get those two things right, you have to be thankful to them, right? And I hope that, right, 10 years from now, we will still walk into this building. You walk into this space, you walk into the restroom. If those two things are done right, you'll be very happy that this is maintained and done to the high quality standards. In fact, whenever I go to IIT Madras, the first thing I do is I go to the restrooms over there. Not because I want to go to the restrooms, but I want to see the quality of the restroom. So I'm telling you, these are the most important things you have to think about. Okay. Finally, I also want to thank another thing that is, I think, important in designing good spaces is the art. It is just the beginning. The mural that is designed by Shatrupa Rai. I was so blown away by her creativity, by creating the mural in outside the building. And one of the things that I want to do is have more art in this building so that we walk in this space and you have art at every place. And so hopefully in the next 1 year, you will see more art in this place to again give you idea about how innovation, creativity, innovation inspires this building, inspires you to do all those different things. I know I'm probably missing many, many more people, but again, Ganesh has again played a very important role, right? From the day one we met in the hotel, I still remember the hotel where we met in, where Ganesh was talking. Then he's one of those quiet person, right? That you tend to ignore for a while, but then you realize that he is such an important, he does so much for others without, ever getting any credit for it. Ganesh, from the initial concept of this building to the actual infrastructure to the whole time, every time we come here, he plays he gives us this feeling of warmth and hospitality, right? That I don't know how he does it, but he has this unique ability to make people welcome. And I think I can see why he's the deputy director, and hopefully he will become the director of this place, But anyway, Ganesh, thank you for everything you have done. Last but not the least, the faculty. Without you, this place would not exist. I hope that, again, all the hopes and dreams are what you are going to make out of this place. I wish you all the best. I hope that every dream that you have becomes fulfilled. And obviously, the students, lastly, this is for you. This is where your legacy will be. I hope that one day we hear that some of the best things in this world came out because you did it in this building. And again, thank you. Thank you for having us. It's a privilege and an honor to be with all of you. And let's enjoy the evening. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your kind words. I now request Dr. S. Ganesh, officiating Director IIT Kanpur, to please come up and share his thoughts with us.
Yeah, very good morning to all of you. Srimati Jyoti Mehta ji, Mr. Rahul Mehta, from the Bhupat and Jyoti Mehta Family Foundation, I would like to extend to all your family members. We believe they are part of the family. Our chief guest, Professor Abhay Karandikar, our board of chairman, Dr. Radhakrishnan, Professor Shankar Subramaniam, Professor Gang Bao, Dr. Venkataraman is, yeah, good. And Dr. Shamik Sen, and everyone who have joined here, my deans and my colleagues from PSB, other department, students of this institute, members of the Institute Works department, office, the infrastructure planning, everyone who are here, all the invited guests. It's indeed a very proud moment, and also, what to say? I mean, it's an emotional moment as well, because this is something that we have started about 6 years back. We have had several rounds of discussion, and during this period, what you would also notice is that the deans or the directors and the office bearers kept on changing, but one thing did not change. That is the commitment that we should set up a center that is futuristic, that addresses important questions and uses the engineering tools as a way to, really look at the healthcare needs. I mean, that is something that I really would like to emphasize here, whether it is Professor Manna, although it was only 2 months that he would be leaving the office when we met you a long time back. His commitment was enormous when we told him that there is a possibility, and Rahul is interested in looking at a proposal like that. Myself and Director went and met along with him in Delhi for maybe 3 hours or so late in the evening. I mean, thank you for spending time. But that again showed his commitment, even though he was about to leave the office. But really, he came with us to emphasize the commitment of the institute. And likewise, Professor Manindra Agrawal took over as the officiating director, as I do now. Again, he is somebody who really, worked with us, even as a deputy director, when Professor, Abhay Karandikar committed for this same center again. Then we really looked at how we can raise more money and set up this building. I mean, this is something that I have to give a credit to him, because he went to the ministry, defended the proposal, got, the support to complete the project, and Professor Abhay Karandikar and so on. So likewise, if you look at even the Institute Works Department, Shri Rajiv Garg is here. I mean, he was the one who really, really led this, proposal in the beginning, how to create this center, physical infrastructure, and then Mr. Tarun Gautam took over in between. Parmaji was there. So everyone was committed, and so was Dean Infrastructure Planning, Professor Onkar Dikshit. Really, I mean, there are certain things I cannot say openly, how we really, went around the system to make something that is possible. I mean, this is an innovation in itself. We talk about innovation, entrepreneurship. Amitabh would talk something different, but as an administrator, I would say innovation is also doing things when you have constraints, right? How you can navigate, this all these. In that context, what I would like to emphasize is that regardless of the change that you see in the administration, the commitment for this center remained, and it will remain so. I mean, I would like to state here that the institute would continue to support the fullest for this center, and we've already, sort of sanctioned funding for establishing some other facilities here. Maybe in about 6 months, you would have a large number of facilities that are established, and it will be working. Therefore, this is something we are extremely proud of and committed to it. And we'd like to thank all of you, Srimati Jyoti Mehta ji and Rahul and Shankar and everyone, Anna, Sarah, Shri and Maureen, everyone, all of you, to have come all the way here to be part of this occasion. This is indeed a great occasion. I mean, I really appreciate your time for coming all the way. I mean, it's not easy. When we plan to go elsewhere, we plan for several months, and this is something that I understand that this again shows your passion and commitment for this center. Indeed, it's great, and especially I would like to give special kind of appreciation to Rahul, because the enormous time that he has spent in looking at each and every details is something that is amazing. I mean, I agree with Shankar when he said he is unique. Indeed, you are unique because you look at every detail. Even when you entered the morning, you were asking, what is that unique about this building? I mean, that clearly shows how, it's not about what you do, but how do you do is also equally important. That is something that we would like to really appreciate your time and effort in making this what we have today. And of course, going forward, we have to really, whatever that this center has been expected to do, we have to see that is our phase 2, as Dhirendra mentioned. Yeah, there's one advantage and disadvantage when you speak last. The advantage is that whatever you missed, somebody else covered. The disadvantage is when you plan to say something, this is again covered as well. So I'm just trying to pull out what others would have missed, and therefore I can cover it up. Yeah. Yeah, again, this 3 years of, COVID and after, I mean, it is in, a challenging period, but again, I would like to place on record the effort that is put in by Institute Works Department and the contractors to complete the building. That is something that I would like to reiterate. So as Dhirendra also mentioned, we have these three verticals. I mean, thanks to Shankar and his team of fantastic advisors, we have identified what are the areas in which the center should work on. That makes it very focused, and we have already started many such initiatives, and some of them are going to be really in a big scale. One is something that we are going to set up. We have a partnership that is we just signed an MOU with Loris Lab. This is for creating gene delivery platforms, and a part of the R&D labs will be housed in this center. I mean, this is substantial investment, and they also setting up a much larger facility in our Techno Park, which is the Science and Technology Park. But this is going to be an R&D facility that will be set up in this center. And maybe later in this session, Venkat would be sort of giving some glimpse about the partnership we established with Karkinos that he represent, and with Kalyan Singh Super Speciality, Cancer Institute in Lucknow, and IIT Kanpur. And one of the verticals of this center would certainly be a major focus in genomics, in cancer diagnosis and therapeutics. That is something that we are taking in a big way. And you may be seeing some of the posters from, Bushra's group, which certainly looks at that aspect. So I'm just gave you two examples as to how we are really, planning in a big way. I mean, these are really, as you said, the way we are planning is that we have signed also an agreement with the Uttar Pradesh government. They're going to link us with a large number of, the hospitals here. The wealth of data that would be generating using the genomic technology would be enormous, and our computing power might help in solving many of these questions. So that's something that is going to be one of the major initiatives. And the other third one that Dhirendra spoke about is the program. It's a master's program we are thinking of. Even last week, we have had 2 rounds of discussion as to what should be the focus of this master's, because we don't want this to be yet another MTech degree. But here we are focusing on not on thesis, but on project, where we promote people to work together as a group and come up with, a solution that could translate into a product, or they can take it up as a startup. I mean, this is the focus of this master's program. So it's going to be very different than the other MTech program that we have been offering. So that's going to be one of the major programs that this center would be supporting. So we are really looking at there, every student who come into this program would have more than one supervisor. This is something that we are making it as a mandatory. Therefore, and the supervisors the faculty are from different departments. So that's one of the focus that we have discussed. So soon, maybe in about 2 or 3 months period, we should be able to launch the program. So next session, we should be able to hire students in this program. So that, I think, would become one of the, flagship program from this center, which should make a huge difference. So therefore, the way I see is that the way you conceived, this is going to be one of its kind center, and this is going to sort of set a template for the other institute sort of emulate. And I wish that in 10 years period, this would become a leading center, even internationally, it should be recognized. That's the our ambition. I'm sure that we will be able to see that happen that way. Yeah, I mean, once again, thank you everyone, and also thank our chairman and chief guest for joining us. They couldn't be here for reasons that beyond their control, but still they were able to join virtually and share their thoughts. And once again, all of you who have taken time to fly here and be with us for this important event, and all my colleagues here, Nitin, others who really put in a lot of efforts to make this happen. And, I'm sure this is going to be an important day, and we can reflect on the discussion that we had today and later, and how the center can take the leap as, phase 2, and where we should be 10 years from. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Thank you, sir, for your valuable words. We now move on to the last segment of the ceremony, where we will be felicitating our invited guests with a token of appreciation for their support in making this event a success. First, I would request Dr. Amitabha Bandyopadhyay to felicitate Shri Rahul Mehta's mother, Srimati Jyoti Mehta, with a token of gratitude. I now request Dr. Bandyopadhyay to felicitate our invited dignitary, Dr. Anna Maria, with a token of gratitude. I now request Dr. Bandyopadhyay to felicitate Dr. R. Venkataramanan, founder and CEO of Karkinos Healthcare, with a token of gratitude. Thank you, Dr. Bandyopadhyay. I now request Dr. Tarun Gupta, Dean, Research and Development, IIT Kanpur, to carry forward the felicitation. I think he's just stepped out. Can I request Dr. Ganesh to please do the honors? We'll start with Dr. Sanjeev Senapati from IIT Madras. I now request Dr. Ganesh to felicitate Dr. Shantanu Pradhan from IIT Madras. May I please call upon Dr. Shamik Sen from the Department of Biosciences and Bioengineering, IIT Bombay. Thank you, Dr. Ganesh. I now request Dr. Pradeep Sinha to take this forward and present tokens of appreciation to our invited guests from the Mehta Family Foundation. I request Ms. Shri Gilliland to please step forward. I request Dr. Sinha to present a small token of appreciation to Ms. Maureen Seeley. And lastly, I call upon Ms. Sarah Beltran. Thank you, Dr. Sinha. To close the event, I would request Dr. Amitabha Bandyopadhyay, Head of Biological Sciences and Bioengineering Department, to share the vote of thanks.
Well, thank you. It is a pleasant job, but it is very dangerous because you always will miss one or the other. So apologies to all upfront. I completely agree with Mr. Mehta that this building, this space, it will actually allow us to think and dream big. And I'm like, Ganesh stated the problem and then he created the problem for me. But I must say that I am enormously happy and proud that this building will hold the R&D center for the largest industry academia collaboration in the history of the country in biology in this building. And that is exactly fitting the mandate of the building of this center, that is Genomic Medicine Center. And similarly, as you will hear from Venkat, the undertaking that will be taken up in collaboration with UP government and IIT Kanpur, this center will be the largest cancer genotyping, phenotyping effort in the perhaps whole world, if not certainly in the country. And it will pave ways for many innovations and breakthrough. So therefore, I do not know how to thank enough Mr. Mehta and the foundation for agreeing to the proposal made by my colleague Professor Dhirendra Katti to set up this center. And we really have express our utmost gratitude to the foundation, to Mr. Mehta, and obviously to our alumnus, Professor Shankar Subramaniam, to guide this. Because you guided us to this direction of what should be the unique defining features, we started thinking along, and we have started onboarding projects that you have heard about. As Professor Ganesh explained, the MTech program that we conceived, we would not have conceived it if the mandate of the building was not Center for Engineering in Medicine. So therefore, thank you very much. I must thank, Miss Sarah and Mr. Bernie. We have spent a lot of time, bothered you a lot in coming to this stage. All my previous speakers, they have already talked about the contributions made by colleagues and associates of IIT Kanpur who made this place possible. So I will not get into that much more, but we cannot but thank Professor Abhay Karandikar and our Chairman Board of the Governors, Professor Radhakrishnan. Without their enthusiasm, their blessing, their participation, this building would not have come. And as rightly stated by Mr. Mehta, Professor Ganesh always remains as an understated person in the backdrop, but I know that how much I have bothered him. I have the special privilege of also sending him WhatsApp messages and phone calls on top of the emails to get things done. And thank you very much, Mr. Ganesh, for everything that you have done. One of my colleagues who is not here today is Professor Samit Rai Chaudhary, who is the Dean Infrastructure. And I bothered Samit to no end, and sometimes I would front Nitin, sometimes I would front someone else just to get things done. And Samit eventually stopped taking my phone calls, but he got the things done. Thank you very much, Samit. And without the IWD team and all of their enthusiasm, we would not have a completed building today. But now I will come to today's event. I would first like to thank the invited speakers who came from outside. Professor Samik Sen from IIT Bombay. Thank you so much, Samik, for taking your time. Dr. Venkat is a very busy man, I know that, but it just took one phone call and Venkat agreed. Thank you so much, Venkat, for coming here. My colleague from Computer Science Department, Dr. Priyanka, thank you for accepting our invitation. I will take a little bit of credit for myself. When the point came of making this mural, I had the prior exposure to what Shatrupa has been doing in her backyard because she had a student from Iraq who was doing this, and we went and saw the terracotta work that they do. And when Nitin said that it would be great to have a mural, so I came up with that idea that we should approach Shatrupa, and Shatrupa immediately accepted. And without getting into the detail, we have not paid a single penny to her yet. Okay. But she has developed the whole thing. I have seen her living room, which was completely occupied with this ginormous product for almost a month. And of course, her creativity, etc., we cannot even fathom. Thank you so much, Shatrupa, for accepting this and doing it so well. It will actually become a signature for this building. And I would also thank Nitin cannot be thanked enough. He is a very, very quiet person, but he has been planning this event for last 2-3 months, and with a lot of help from Anjali. And he has several running sheets where every aspect is planned to the nth detail. The reason you are seeing this in such a seamless manner is because of Nitin and Nitin's meticulous attempts of doing things right. Thank you so much, Nitin. And of course, Anjali, wherever you are hiding. Yeah, so thank you for everything. We have even shifted her office to this building temporarily. She was stationed here for last 4 days just to make sure that everything is speak and span and perfect. And as you all know that in such a large institute, when an event of this magnitude is happening, it cannot be possible without collaboration of many units. We have a very, very good media team that interacts with the media. So that is run by Professor Fani. At IIT Kanpur, every functional unit is headed by a faculty member. So Professor Fani and his team, Ms. Kriti is here. All the beautiful photographs that you will see are taken by Mr. Girish Pant and the whole IMOC team. Thank you very much for everything that you have done. As you have noticed that there is meticulous arrangement for security, parking, etc. That is done by Professor Ramkumar and his entire security team, Mr. Ashutosh. And the beauty is that all of these different units at IIT Kanpur, they work with extraordinary alacrity. And that's what is the defining feature of IIT Kanpur. And I am really thankful to all of them. The BSB staff, if you were here, members of the office, they have been really working tirelessly. Sunday, while we were at the restaurant, the entire staff was here making sure that everything is arranged perfectly. We cannot thank them enough. It is not just this one occasion, and every occasion. The reason BSB department is doing well is because it has a very, very good functional office. So we are enormously thankful to them. And all the student volunteers, there are many of you. Thank you for participating, helping the event. And of course, my colleagues in the entire MFCEM ecosystem, all the faculty members, their students and their officers, all of you collaborated and helped. That's the reason why we could have this very successful inauguration event. Thank you very much. Thank you all. Bye.
Thank you, sir. With this, we come to the end of the inaugural session. We will now take a short tea break, after which Dr. Janaki Sen and Dr. Sai Paidi will lead a tour of the building for our guests. Thank you all for your presence and have a great day. I would also request everyone to use the 2 exits that we have, one in the center and one behind the back wall to exit and go towards the tea break. Thank you.
That'll be fine. If you want to, the teams, otherwise please sit in the front. Because but I think so, yeah. The stage is better. Yeah. But in order for the teams not to see the question. We managed to get things well.